Get Mattel's new Hot Wheels, the fastest metal cars you've ever seen.
Welcome back to Spork Syndicate. My name is Tom. Today, we have a special build commemorating 3 years of Maple Leaf Customs. A channel that not only features some amazing and beautiful builds, but the spirit of generosity like no other. On the bench today is a Hot Wheels Porsche 917. The Ira Guilford design ran from 1970 to 1979 according to the Hot Wheels wiki. It first was a Redline, then was a blackwall mainline casting. This is a special car to me because it's from my childhood collection. This is actually a recovery project. I wasn't happy with the paint, it was rattle can, it was thick, so it's been a work in progress for about 2 years now. So back into the citrus strip it goes. One day my son, Jackson, asked me to add a note from him in a comment I was leaving for Andrew. Andrew responded personally and offered to customize a car just for my son. This beautiful Ferrari FXX arrived from Switzerland, and it means a lot to him, and probably even more to me. So when Andrew invited the die-cast customizing community to build a Porsche and give it away, I knew I had to send him something special. And Jackson did too, and that's part of his video, which will drop soon. But I also know I had to make a third Porsche, and here it is. A Hot Wheels 911 GT98, which will not go to Switzerland, but somewhere in the United States, and it will have its own video as well. Now, unfortunately, the stripper did not deliver, or rather, I had way too much paint on there. So for this P-917, I'm going to do a Redline conversion. I've got bearings and wheels. Now, this build had some unexpected challenges. Some of them were self-imposed. Like when I first attempted this build 2 years ago, I drilled and used self-tapping 256 screws. I don't know what I was thinking when I decided to drill and tap with 1/72, thinking, oh, this is a Redline. Holes were too big. So finally, I realized, oh, just put 256 screws in, and guess what? It worked. This P-917 had a lot of mileage on it, all the way from a basement in New Jersey to dirt fields to moving with me all the way to Virginia all those years ago. The only thing that amazes me more than the car sticking with me is how the hinge on the engine cover never broke. To make sure the Spectraflame paint looked good, I had to use a lot of elbow grease on the body. I went all the way up to 7,000 grit sandpaper to get as smooth a finish as possible. The grill has a little dent in it. I ended up having to use a titanium bit and grind it. Bruh. Here's a lesson in chemistry. Goo Gone and paint thinner will remove paint from a plastic base. But don't do one and then the other and then go back to the other one. It will melt your plastic base. After the base melted and my meltdown, I realized all wasn't lost, because the next day, a trade I made with Santa Slow Dog arrived. A purple Redline P-917 with a suspension and a metal base. All right, we're back in business. So now we have a do-over inside of a do-over. I get to use the 1/72 bit and screws. Everything is coming together. I had to do some grinding on the base to make it fit my childhood 917, which left a lot of shavings and... Did you know a Dremel barely has to touch a cap wheel to send it flying across the room? It only took me about 10 minutes to find it, so I just have to put the hub back on. What a pretty pair. Granted, the purple P-917 is going to need more paint, but I couldn't leave it as a work in progress, so I gave it some nice, comfy Samed wheels. To clean the base, I use a 50-50 mixture of water and CLR. Don't leave it in much longer than 3 minutes. I take it out and I hit it with a brass brush to get into all the nooks and crannies. Now it's time for flits. Just putting a little on with my finger, polishing it out, and it looks brand new. It's a great product, perfect for what we do. And now we've got the base we need. This is where I realized that the base of the cap wheel that came off was put back on backwards. There we go. Look at the flex in the body. Everything's in place. We're back in business again. To get that Spectraflame Redline finish, you need to put on the paint in several thin coats. At first, you'll barely see the color, but soon enough, it will come through. After enough layers, this seems to be a deeper blue than I had expected. It looks a lot like the car Andrew made for my son. But that's okay, because just like Jackson, blue is my favorite color too, and hopefully this is a color Andrew likes as well. And now the journey is complete, all the ups and downs and back and forth. Let's put it back together.
To license it.
Meep, meep.
Like Canadian geese, this Porsche 917 is going on a long journey to its new home in Switzerland, along with a Porsche from my son Jackson. And in the spirit of paying it forward and to celebrate 3 years of Maple Leaf Customs, I'm customizing another Porsche, and that will be making a shorter journey to its new home. For Spork Syndicate, this is Tom. Hey Andrew, what time is it?
It's coffee time.